All right, so at the Mokai estate, which is Laurel's clan, Laurel and Tyler enter the inner chamber to find Luigi dead. I'm going with Luigi, man. He's Uncle Luigi.
His name's changed a couple times now, but yeah.
That's why you can't tell the difference between an Italian and a Klingon accent. They find him dead and hanging from the ceiling. And the child is taken from its cradle. Just then, Cole Shaw contacts them, holding the child in his arms. He explains that the pain on his face that Tyler tried to wipe off was saturated with sensor implants that act as a listening device. He had intended to only eavesdrop and kind of catch on to what Laurel's political strategy was, but just happened through the moment of luck to discover all of Laurel's secrets and about the baby.
Oh, and the fact that Tyler communicated with Michael.
Yep. I mean, he got it all, like 30 minutes of all bad decisions all landed right in his lap.
The paint you put on your face is saturated with sensor implants that act as listening devices. Why? Why would you assume that Tyler would do that? Or maybe he was just trying to goad one of them into making a move like that. So I guess I'll believe it.
I would actually need to go back and re-listen to some parts. Were they already making a thing of taking off the war paint or taking off the clan paint?
Yeah, Laurel basically makes that. She's like, I see you've come here with your normal house paint, but we're not doing that no more. We're all one culture. And then he does start goading her and Ash.
So it didn't matter which one of them. Well, and no, that's not true either, because you would know if you go after Laurel, it's going to be Ash that comes to kick your ass. You know this going in because he's been the right-hand guy to her for whatever period of time this has been now.
Yeah, and plus it seemed like that was a cultural thing anyway, that the torchbearer would be the one to handle any matters like that. So, yeah, okay. I'll take it.
So, okay. Well, yeah, because I was thinking that was kind of a sloppy setup, but now that we've talked it out a little bit, I'm like, no, okay, it actually worked. So let's see here. Cole Shaw demands that Laurel and Tyler meet him at the Chancellor's residence, where he will return their child to them if she hands over control of the government. Seems like a fair trade if you like kids, I guess. Tilly enters the quarters she shares with Burnham. Burnham looks like she's been having a little crying fit there of her own. Burnham says Sarah has been trying to get a hold of Tilly. Tilly catches her up with what's going on and says that she's been seeing ghosts ever since the accident with the meteor. As she begins to cry, May gets confused. And then Tilly tells Burnham that May doesn't know what crying is. And this like flips a switch in Burnham's head. She's like, you show me a teenage girl who's never cried. And then Burnham goes, you don't need sickbay. You need Stamets. Dr. Stamets, microcologist MD or whatever that is.
He's a mycologist.
Yeah, he's one of those.
Or astromycologist, sorry.
Yeah. So we cut to the Chancellor's residence. Cole Shaw holds out a document of abdication. Laurel reminds him that she is still Chancellor. He dismisses her as a Federation puppet, a creature who lies with humans. See, this is where I started getting the bestiality thing started to hit me. Was he accuses her of being a creature that lies with humans. I don't know. I guess maybe racist would be better than bestiality is the proper term.
Yeah, I think that's the word I took issue earlier when you mentioned it.
Speciesist, I guess, would be the more correct.
Yeah, because a Klingon would look at a human as below them and on the hierarchy, I guess.
So, yeah, he wants her to sign a document abdicating power, and she basically realizes that once she signs that, he's going to kill them. So she says, you better kill us both, because either one of us live through this, we're going to hunt you down like a dog and, kill you. Then a fight breaks out, and Laurel and Tyler, they do pretty good. They hold their own pretty well here for going against some bodyguards and stuff. But Cole Shaw has some weird little paralysis machine that I've never seen in Star Trek before.
I think they had stuff like that in the Mirror Universe in Discovery Season 1.
Oh, could be. Maybe they did.
Which makes sense when you see who comes next.
Right, yeah. So he captures them with like a paralysis device, and basically it's gonna strangle them. They're gonna just not be able to breathe. So he walks over, cuts Laurel's hand, gets a fingerprint on the abdication. Then, well, yeah, like you alluded to there, a cloaked figure, I guess, shows up, cloaked and hooded or something.
Yeah.
And mows down whatever remaining guards there are, sticks Colshaw in a bubble, and then frees L'Rell and Tyler. L'Rell gets up, kills Colshaw, and then we learn that the savior here was none other than Emperor Giorgio.
Yeah, even though she says, no, I'm retired captain of the
Shinjo. So now, Section 31 has kind of got their own plans for the Klingon Empire, and Philippa Giorgio is the one who's going to kind of ramrod the whole situation. She asked L'Rell what she would think about killing Tyler and the baby. L'Rell's like, nah, I'm not really into that. And then she's like, oh, yeah, you don't really have a choice. So we're left with some evilness hanging in the air for a moment. They kind of try to figure out why Giorgio's been spying on them, and she admits to being a consultant for Starfleet security.
Her mission was to make sure L'Rell stayed in power.
Yeah.